Power outages, camping trips, or maybe just a backup for all those gadgets? Meet the Bluetti AC70, a power station that claims to do it all, but is it really worth the hype it receives? Can it keep your devices running when you need them most? Today we're putting this little power station to the ultimate test, from failover speeds to even boiling water. That's right folks, we're getting crazy. So stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know if the Bluetti AC70 is the perfect fit for your needs or just another power station that falls a tad short. If you're new to the channel, welcome, it's great to have you here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button below if you'd like to see more content like this. A huge thanks to Bluetti for sending over the AC70 review. Links below if you want to check it out. And now let's roll the intro and dive straight in. The Bluetti AC70 caught my attention not just because of its funky name and competitive price, but for its performance to cost ratio and its wide range of features. So let's start with the basics. Inside we have 768 watt-hour capacity. The AC70 uses the LFP type batteries, which are known for their long lifespan and safety. It boasts around 3,000 charge cycles before its capacity drops below 80%. That translates to about 8 years of daily use at discharge and recharge. While most portable power stations last around a decade, LFP batteries can stretch much longer under controlled conditions, up to 20 years in electric vehicles, for example. And this does have a fan built in to manage the heat of the inverter and the batteries. The AC70's outputs are just as impressive. It has two AC outlets capable of delivering 1000 watts with a 2000 watt surge capacity. Along these are two USB-C ports, each supporting up to 100 watts, two USB-A ports, 12 watt total, and a regular 12 volt DC car outlet. Now, the pure sine wave inverter does ensure consistent and safe power for sensitive electronics. This brings me to the standout feature in my mind as a techie, and that's the UPS functionality. You see, it's quite unique because it has a 20 millisecond switch over time, and Bluetti is confidently marketing the AC70 as a true UPS. This makes it ideal for home office setups where it can prevent computers and routers from shutting down during, let's say, a power outage, and it avoids data loss on servers, which is really good for me. It's also useful for medical devices like CPAP machines, ensuring uninterrupted operation. That 20 millisecond switch over time is really good for a device like this. So I calculated I would be saving around $500 per year if I used a UPS that never let my server shut down, because power outages on a home server usually, for me anyway, fail hard drives at least a couple of times a year. It's also great for outdoor events, of course, or living off the grid, providing uninterrupted power for portable setups like food trucks or event equipment. A lot bit more on that in a second. So let's talk recharging and expendability. Recharging the AC70 is quite quick and versatile. It supports AC inputs up to 950 watts, going from 0 to 80% in just 45 minutes and fully charging in about 1.3 to 1.6 hours. For solar charging, it supports up to 500 watts input, though you'll need a fairly large array to hit those numbers, and of course it'll be under ideal conditions. You're looking at about 2.8 to 3.3 hours to recharge via that solar. It also supports charging through the 12 watt 24 volt outlet, making it convenient for on-the-go use in the vehicle. Expansion options are available with the Bluetti B80, B230 and B300 batteries, but those serve as an alternative charge source rather than a fully integrated capacity expansion. Now, pass-through charging is absolutely supported, so you can power devices while charging the unit. However, you can only charge from one source at a time, so no AC and solar combo charging. But if you're in the outback and you've got your solar panels out and you're using the fridge, or you're using, let's say, a cooktop, then it's fine and it'll run as well as your solar panels can provide. Now, the AC70 includes some notable safety features, and I think it's really important that we highlight these because they're going to get more and more popular as time goes on and as batteries go down in price. So on the side here, we have ourselves a grounding bolt, and it's particularly interesting because it can connect to a grounding rod or a vehicle chassis to reduce the risk of electrical shock in high moisture environments, or when you're using high powered devices with metal casings such as drills or even hair dryers. It is also handy for outdoor music events, helping to reduce feedback in your amps or other audio equipment. And when I tested it with an amp, it was dead silent, but as long as that earth was connected. It has also an accessible fuse right next to the AC plug, which protects the connected devices in case of surges or any other faults when you have the AC plug connected. That is a fantastic thing for UPS in the home. That said, there are a few omissions. With only 2 AC outlets, it can feel a little bit restrictive, and it lacks an integrated emergency light and wireless charging pad. Features that add convenience but aren't deal breakers, hence it's not really that bad. It also doesn't have an IP rating for water or dust resistance, so you'll need to be careful in rough outdoor conditions. And the absence of Wi-Fi means the app control is limited to Bluetooth and short-range connections, so you can't really check on it when you're away from home, which is really, really unfortunate. Now, weight-wise, and the reason I haven't been picking it up is because it's 10.2 kilograms, which makes it a very heavy travel companion. And this may put a few people off because there are much lighter power stations. So it's not something I would say you're gonna lug around in your backpack. On to performance and usability. The AC70 shines in real-world performance. I just couldn't fault it. It handles high surge applications like kettles, induction cooktops, and power tools with ease. However, keep in mind that high-powered devices drain the battery quickly. For example, using induction cooktop at full wattage will require either frequent recharging or lowering the power settings. From testing, you can probably get about 2 to 3 meals at around 1,000 watts. Now, in regards to UPS functionality, I tested this with my desktop PC, a modem, a server, and even a 3D printer. And that 20 millisecond switchover time was absolutely seamless. No interruptions, no errors, and no noticeable effects on a 3D print. So compare this to a $429 PowerShield Defender 2kVA UPS. That states at 50% load, you get 5.5 minutes of power to your appliance. That's right, 5.5 minutes. And then to recharge it back to around 90%, it takes 6 hours. So if you're looking for a battery backup system to provide power to your computing needs at home during a blackout, the AC70 seems like a no-brainer comparably. But to be fair, I'm also not taking into consideration the PowerShield's overload protection, the 6ms switchover time, and the higher voltage output. But for a small server at home, you cannot look past the value the AC70 brings to keep everything online. Even at full price of 1,000 Australian dollars, let alone the Black Friday deal of $799, this and its multitude of uses at home and outdoors is an amazing deal. To that end, the 20 millisecond is fast enough for most electrical things, but may not meet the 5ms or faster switching time needed by highly sensitive equipment like certain medical devices or high-end servers. So there is some limitations, but for home use, again, I don't think there is. Lastly, most UPS utilize lead-acid batteries, and these typically need to be replaced every 3 to 5 years, so that's another plus for the AC70. Of course, depending on usage and maintenance, but the new LFP batteries are here, will last you much, much longer. So in summary, the Blue Yeti AC70 stands out as a versatile and reliable power station, blending the functionality of a portable battery and a basic UPS. Its robust LFP batteries, diverse output options, and the 20 millisecond failover makes it an excellent choice for, let's say, outdoor enthusiasts, home offices, and just backup power solutions for everywhere you need to go and on the go. So what's my recommendation? Well, if you camp in areas where there is a lot of rain, the AC70 is the safer choice with its earthing capability. If you need to have enough surge headroom, the AC70's 2000 watt is leading in this price range. And if camping is an event that only happens a handful of times per year, the AC70 will provide you value with its UPS functionality at home. And of course, in emergency situations where the power goes out, you can just grab this and go, even though it's heavy. Like I said earlier, it's been hard to fault this particular power station, so it gets a thumbs up from me. Links below if you'd like to learn more or buy the AC70. Big thanks to Blue Yeti for sending the AC70 for review. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!